you to drop off after. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to round number 8 of the MEA NASCAR Cup Series here at Homestead. And only this and 2 more rounds remain in the series. I'm SSR Mayhem, and alongside me, my partner, AMS Tsunami, for tonight's it's supposed to be actually 120 lap race, but there's 123. It's the Military Appreciation Week, where some of the drivers have some cool paint schemes to represent their nation's colors and the appreciation of those that serve and protect their countries. And just to do a quick mic check here with you, Tsunami, go ahead and start talking. But I'm glad you're here tonight with us, and we got a good one here at Homestead. So we have the option. So we're having issues with Tsunami getting added to my audio. It looks like. That's okay, we got a minute. 1 sec. Okay, you should have it.
There we go, and good evening, everybody. Yes, we're back for another round here in the MEA NASCAR Series, and we're at Homestead tonight. This is going to be a good one. After watching last week at Indianapolis, I can't wait to see what happens tonight. I'm sticking with my prediction, Steve. I think we're going to have yet another winner this season.
And sorry about that. It took me a minute to get everything fixed up on my end. So now that I have confirmed that you're taken care of and everything's solid there, yeah, it's going to be a fun one here tonight for sure. A lot can still happen in this series. And, you know, the question is, will we see an 8th different winner this season? The first 7 rounds had 7 different winners. Unfortunately, tonight, Miss Katie Cat will not make the show. She could not be a part of tonight, unfortunately. So championship contender out tonight and will affect her championship running. And we're getting ready to go here momentarily. So a couple of the drivers out on track here tonight. We got Amos Tsunami being our pace car for 2 reasons. 1, he's here. And 2, we need to make sure that the pit glitch is taken care of. And not only that, the drivers of the military schemes will be out front in a formation lap for us tonight. And Tsunami is currently serving, and so it just kind of is fitting to have him out there as well. And the pace car and a few of the other drivers in the field tonight, Kart Racer, will be having his scheme. We will put MVP to the front. He is serving actively as well. Doesn't have a scheme, but he is allowed up there. JDMX Culture, I thought Missile Vision had something for us, but it doesn't seem that. I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing it, and I believe Valkyrie does as well. They'll be notified once we load into the race lobby. And, well, it looks like driver not ready. It might be myself. Let me double check real quick here. No, that would actually be RZX Nix, so we are just waiting for Nix to ready up for us, and then we'll get ready to go here. So the first time ever here at MEA doing an appreciation special, as this is for active and former military men and women. And I know, Tsunami, you serve actively in the military, so your thoughts on tonight?
Yeah, you know, I greatly appreciate this. It's a really cool gesture. It's really nice to see the special paint schemes tonight for Military Appreciation Night, and myself being on the other side of the world at the moment, being fortunate enough to have an Xbox and being here online with everybody is pretty cool. It's about as close to home as I get right now. So thank you to the drivers who took part and made a special paint. This is really cool. Now I'm going to have to pull for them for sure. I want to see the stars and stripes up front.
So here we go, and we're gonna get them loaded in here. It wasn't choreographed, so we're gonna do this as we go. That's always a good time. But ESV Bobbers, the defending champion, 29 points ahead in the championship over Miss Katie Cat, and a little bit further ahead in front of the next contender of RZM, Sean. He will start on the front row for the first time this season as the pole sitter, and we're gonna load in there. And oh wait, oh, we gotta back out. Jeez, I made a mistake on my end. So what actually needed to happen was we didn't actually set up the Forza regulations because they're going to be using the pit exit and pit entrance here tonight at Homestead International Speedway. So a mistake by the staff, and I take full responsibility for that one because I am the one that sets up the race lobby. As you can see, the pace car of Tsunami right there just chilling on the road, and now he comes back out. So everyone can hate me at this time. Feel free to send some hate, love, and those wonderful letters through the chat box, and let's get everything up and running here properly. But yes, Tsunami, if you actually might not know, these drivers will be using the pit entry and pit exit of tonight's race, and I think I have it all set up now. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm going to hear about it. But it does play a factor who can go through there nice and smoothly. There is a penalty if those drivers come out of line on the pit exit. So they actually have to come on to the back off of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. So definitely a challenge in itself.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky. This adds just another dynamic to the race tonight where it's really going to showcase the driver's skill, and we're going to see who can handle that flat pit exit and entry. It's very, very tricky. I've only tried it once before myself, but yeah, to watch them try to do it and not have to figure it out on my own here. It's definitely going to be a cool dynamic.
And we'll definitely get to see how it plays out here tonight. We're waiting for them to all ready up again. I do believe we're waiting for Nick's one more time. And again, that was my fault. So sorry for the delay to anyone that's sitting there wondering what's going on. I make mistakes too. So we're going to get ready to load in here. We're just waiting for RZX Nick's to ready up. And then we'll get ready to go racing here at Homestead. So we'll see. I don't know if Nix knows he needs to ready up still. So we're still waiting. Sorry for the delay.
There we go.
Alright, so there we go. Some Valentine Day words I've listened to in the race columns on that one, so maybe Nix was feeling a little flurry right now. But alright, so we're loading in. The pace car, you are Tsunami, as everyone might need to know. He is the pace car, maintain 80-mile-per-hour pace speed for the field, and the drivers from the military or have the military appreciation, they're going to get out of their current position and they're going to go into the front of the field. And for those, and we'll take off the race map as you can see here. We'll sit on that again. And you can see right there, you got the Americans, you got the UK, and we're seeing MVP as well, military active duty. And I believe Valkyrie was going to be in it as well. I don't see them coming up, so maybe they didn't have the scheme ready. But formation lap for those particular individuals. And they're going down in the pit road to take the pits on, which wasn't really supposed to happen. They didn't have to do that, but I guess they're just double checking the pit. So they're just going through here, making sure that the pits are good. And it seems like everything is okay.
Just
So
looking
now
for
they're
the pace
coming-
car here, it's quite a narrow
Go
exit
ahead.
there off the pit exit. It's going to be very, very tricky.
It's a small gap there at the end of the pit exit, which is what makes the exit a challenge. But what is more of the challenge is the entrance of pit road. That's where a lot of these drivers tend to struggle here at Homestead. And for those that wonder if the drivers get penalties through the penalty point system from Forza, they will not get those actual penalties. It's just to remove the cones on the track, or I should say the tire barriers, as these drivers come around for the final time in formation. Military Appreciation Week once again here at MEA. Thank you for all that serve in any country that you serve, and we appreciate you as the common folk, I would like to say, Tsunami, that sit at home and get to appreciate the freedoms that we have here in the U.S. and for those elsewhere in the world that, you know, they live their particular lives based on how they go about business. But they're going to now set themselves up.
Alright, and I'm hopping out of the pace car and into spectate mode so I can catch the
I saw that. I saw
starter.
that happen. I'm like, please hope we didn't lose a car. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was the pace car, but good stuff. Thanks, Tsunami, for helping us out there, making sure that the pit glitch wasn't there.
I guess that counts as leading the lap in MEA 2023, right? Starting off the year good.
What'd you say?
Haven't been able
Sorry,
to
I didn't
in
hear
a
you.
race. So I guess that counts as leading the lap for 2023 in MEA, right?
I heard in race comms that they wanted to give you a bonus point for leading the first pace lap of the race. So they did make that gesture in there as a joke.
Oh, we got some nice drivers tonight. I appreciate it then.
But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's round number 8 in the MEA NASCAR Cup Series, one of the top 3 premier series here at MEA. The final weeks here. We are here tonight at Homestead, and we also have Sonoma next week, and then the finale back here at Homestead for double the laps, double the racing, and a champion to be crowned. Without Katie, the gap between Sean and Bobberts is a little bit deeper than it was, about 30, 40 points. Sean still has a chance at the championship. JJ Reds and the MEA, they got a mountain to climb. Bobbert's able to get those 5 bonus points in qualifying, but here we are, we're doubled up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are Green Flag Racing here at Homestead.
And a great start for Bobberts right there. Gets past Aviva, gets himself cleared on him. Has a lane. It's really good here.
And this week, Tsunami, they had to race in a new tune. This tune is a little bit slower, but a little bit better handling on all the race cars. So we're going to find out tonight if the racing gets a little bit better than the last time they were here. But not only that, they definitely also have the factor here tonight that there's no caution system for the first 20-something laps here. So until lap 26 begins, it's caution-free.
And these drivers need to be careful. I just saw MEA catch the wall off of turn 4 there, and it stacked the whole field. Oh, as they're getting ugly all over. Just as we were saying, it can happen. We lost somebody back there.
So they were confused a little bit in the race columns that they were calling caution, but there's no caution allowed right now in the beginning of this race for the first 20-something laps. So again, until lap 26 hits, they're not going to be able to call caution, and a couple of the drivers that got caught up in that mess is MVP and SMX Savitar, LCRF1 Ben, and JRFE Blade in the back. Olympia MEA, who started up front, has to fight his way back to the front. Meanwhile, ESV Bobbers is your race leader, Kart Racer in second, third, RZM Sean, and those three cars are starting to distance themselves from the pack. But look at this, RZM Sean, after a solid week back in Indianapolis last week, is on the prowl, and he's trying to fight for that second spot.
Yeah, last week's winner, Kart Racer, right there, it's ready. He was such a smooth driver last week. I expect to see a lot of the same here tonight. I'm expecting some great things
Kart
from
Racer
again.
Well, Kart Racer is one of those guys that are not fighting for a championship. He missed one race earlier this season, was not able to race, and he lost all points possibilities because he also didn't qualify.
Yeah, RZX Mix there off of turn 4 got really loose, saw a big cloud of smoke. He saved the car, but he lost a lot of positions there, all his momentum gone. As he collides with Valkyrie just a little bit. Oh, he saves it. Just good driving.
Hop back to the mid-pack. BMS Rise, he's in the 10th spot right now all by himself behind RZX Cam. Currently starting to lose the front of the pack, but not really having anybody to fight with behind him. Meanwhile, it's LMP MEA in the 12th position. He started up inside the top 5, was involved in that little hiccup early on in the race, and now up to the 12th spot. But he's got a lot of work to do, and the championship contender in some trouble early on. MEA smacks the outside wall off of 4 right there. JJ Reds now has a run on the inside. They go side by side in the turn 1, and he's going to take that spot away from MEA right there. These two guys right here, Tsunami, JJ and MEA, they got a lot of work to do if they want to be champions this season, and they got to make today count. Right now, the champion, the defending champion, ESV Bowers, who was the pole sitter to start this race, has no problems early on, and he's still out front right in front of Kart Racer.
Yeah, but that's the thing with these ovals. We have a lot of laps tonight. There's a lot that can happen here. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to get a little more concerned after the halfway point. If they're still in the back of the field, then I'm going to start worrying a little bit. But I think right now they're okay as long as they just stay on the path, keep doing their thing, keep it smooth, keep it clean, and they'll make their way to the front.
Right behind the top 3 is Frodo FM and ESV Barcode, 4th and 5th. They're duking it out right now. In the midst of a battle right there, and then behind them further back is BMS Arrow and that Missile Vision that we hopped on, but he's currently on the outside of Arrow. They're battling side by side off of 2 right there. JDMX Culture in the 8th spot, trying to put some pressure on these two. Arrow gets to the inside of Missile Vision, trying to take that spot away. These 3 are duking it out right now. Looks like Arrow had a really bad exit off of 4. JDMX Culture now pushing Missile Vision onto the outside, going into 1. Some smoke from 4th and 5th, and they're 3 wide almost in 1 and 2, as Missile Vision will lose another spot to JDMX Culture, who's now on the inside of BMS Arrow.
So far what we're seeing here, it looks like this new package, the way the tune's working out, the handling is pretty good. Everybody's grouped up and drafting here. They're kind of splitting up into little trios, and it seems to be working pretty good.
And right now, now the pack has pretty much distanced itself apart, as MVP and Savitar finally catching up to RZX Nix, who looks like he had some problems. So did JJ Reds. And Amoeba's now on the outside looking in as he battles Diamond Man for that 10th spot. They're going side by side in 3 and 4. Amoeba able to get down to the inside line as they come off of 4. Amoeba got shoved way down to the inside. Diamond Man didn't really let up at all right there, but Diamond Man not able to make it happen. And Amoeba able to get into the top 10. And Diamond Man now fighting back to the inside. This battle still rages on.
And Diamond Man is one of those names that stands out to me. Back from the MEA GT series earlier last year, great driver. He really shines at the moments, and he's really tough to battle with on the track. He's really good at holding his own, and yeah, just outstanding driver.
And Diamond Man, a pretty much a regular here in the MEA series as a whole. He's been coming around for quite a long time. And definitely a guy that can make things happen. But right now, he's going to lose a couple more spots and maybe some more, or not more, but he's losing some ground, I should say, on LMP Amoeba. As I hop back onto the 3-car battle, JDMX Culture now able to clear Aerovin and Missile Vision, who's 7th and 8th, now battling for that 7th spot. Missile really hasn't put a lot of pressure on the offensive end, kind of capitalizing on some of the mistakes that the other drivers are doing in front, but not the pace that he probably wants right now as he's starting to lose some ground on Aero. However, to the front, at the race lead, it's Bobber still leading the way. Kart Racer second. Sean now about 2.5 car lengths off of the front two, but that's no different from Kart Racer right now. Bobber's trying to go for his first ever oval win in the MEA NASCAR Cup Series, something he has not done, Tsunami, in 5 seasons.
Yeah, that's something that might change here today, but it looks like we got 4th and 5th place. Frodo and Barco, they're slowly closing that gap in the top 3. That gap is ever so slightly coming down. They're working really well together. This might be a 5-car battle here.
Well, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Frodo has shown that he's been pretty good here in qualifying, practice, and in the previous race, though the previous race was a nightmare for just about everybody in the race, which is why the package had gotten changed back up. And right now, they're still staying green. Just another 5 laps here as they cross the line. The caution system will be green, meaning they will be able to start calling race cautions in this race for 2 or more cars on track. But with the field starting to spread out, it might be a minute until we have that happen. However, a battle in the back of the pack, 18th, 19th. It's Savitar and JRFE Blade battling for that 18th spot. Blade to the outside, Savitar on the inside. Still 2x2 across 3 and 4. Savitar able to clear the inside and able to get by JRFE Blade. Tsunami?
And back up front here in the top 3, things are getting a little interesting. They are not just riding. Kart Racer tried to make a move on Bobberts, and it ended up costing a little bit of momentum there, and Sean tried to take advantage as well. I don't think these 3 are settled with how they're running. I think all 3 of them want to win this race.
And you got that right as Kart Racer now to the inside of Bobberts, coming off of 2, trying to put the pressure on as we hop on board. Let's hop on the roof cam here briefly with Sean as he watches the battle from behind as Bobberts trying to fend off Kart Racer for that first spot. Kart Racer has shown tremendous pace at these places, and right now he's putting all the pressure on Bobberts as they head into 1. Now he dives down to the inside. Bobberts smacks off the door, and that slows Kart Racer down just a little bit right there. Sean having that run to the outside will get alongside Kart Racer. And meanwhile, behind him, Barco to the inside of Frodo FM. 4th and 5th now duking it out. Meanwhile, Kart Racer hangs strong to the inside, but Sean able to make the run off of 4, and Frodo as well.
All right, that's going to be interesting to see what Sean can do. He's now in that 2nd spot. He's going to have to try to make the move on Bobberts, and he's going to have to try to do it without losing that momentum. That's what cost Kart Racer there, and I think this could flop back the other way pretty quick if Sean's not too careful.
Meanwhile, further in the back of the pack, championship contender LMP Amoeba now is cracked inside the top 10 and some more. He's currently in the 8th spot, duking it out between Missile Vision and RZX Cam. Down to the inside of Missile Vision and going into 1. Amoeba looking for more. trying to make the pass on Vision. Not sure what had happened. We lost the driver. UDP Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah. Oh, we're 3 wide down the front stretch here. Missile Vision, RZX Cam, and Amoeba.
And I'm not sure what happened to UDP Valkyrie. She was running, I do think, into or close around the top 10.
Amoeba up to P7
Amoeba.
now.
Yep, we got up to 7th and now able to try to track down the front. And Amoeba's on a mission right now. I don't think people understand. That guy was all the way back in 16th at the start of this race after a little bit of a hiccup from the front of the pack. And he's making some moves. And how about this? Barco is able to take over the 4th spot, but he's in a battle right now.
Yeah, Frodo doesn't want to give that spot up, but I think it's going to be in his best interest here. Tuck in, figure out what Barcode's doing to get that little bit of an edge over here at this point. Just draft with him and get up to those front 3 and take all 3 of them down.
So Barcode, the inside, was able to get by Frodo. And Barcode's starting to get away from Frodo a little bit. Maybe Barcode's got some race pace to go for a win here today at Homestead.
That's always a possibility when you're playing Barcode. It doesn't matter what track it is. But yeah, he looks very smooth in the corners right now. It looks like Frodo's wiggling a little bit. Maybe a little too much top steer. But yeah, Barcode's going really smooth.
So Barcode's on the move right now, and pretty much the front 3 haven't done too much here. They're kind of still running as is. Kart Racer starting to lose a little bit of ground on Sean, and he's on the offensive end right now, and Sean was really good last week in Indianapolis. A late caution, or late crash, I should say, affected the remainder of his race. And Sean's still on the offensive end right now.
And just a few laps here, we're going to run into the first bit of lap traffic, so this could shake things up a little bit.
And that is true. The cars have been spread out pretty well at this point, so drivers are now trying to find that pace. Championship contender RZX JJ Reds in the turn 13 spot, getting by LCR F1 Ben for the 12th position now, and he is working to really try to get up there.
And Frodo's not done yet back here in 5th spot. He is trying to make a run of Barcode. Couldn't do anything with the momentum he had that time, but he is not content with staying there in 5th spot. He wants to get back in front of Barcode and push this duo up to the front.
Well, we're going to see what happens here as he catches up to lap traffic. Kart Racer and Sean still follows and Blade up into the wall. It looks like off of 4, losing some momentum as the leaders are coming, but Frodo FM was able to get to the inside, it looks like, on Barcode for that 4th spot, and these two have been duking it out pretty much since the start of the race.
Yeah, they're going back and forth here, and it just looks like it's coming down to who slips up and loses a little momentum. Barcode had a little bit of a slip up there and let Frodo get bumped, but we'll see what happens here. Barcode's kind of swerving all over the place, it looks like on my screen. And here is that lap traffic with JRFE Blade about to go a lap down. Bobbert's making the move here. This is where he's got to be really careful. He could lose all of his momentum right here trying to get around the lap cars.
And Bobberts, Sean goes to the inside of Blade. Blade stays to the outside, and Kart Racer's going to have to try to avoid him. And oh, Blade almost loses it off before he smacks down at the outside wall. And it looks like something happened to Frodo. Frodo's falling back to 6th. Oh, he's down in pit road. So pit road being used at this time. Some of the drivers looking to maybe make some strategy here.
Ooh, both Bobberts and Sean got into the wall coming off of turn 4, and it looks like Kart Racer's going to have a good run here.
And a really good run at that. He comes off of 4 with so much momentum, and he got by Sean, no problem. And that was a big pass right there because Kart Racer has shown he's got a really good car. Bobberts has led every lap, though, up to this point.
Yeah, and speaking of Kart Racer after the race last week after his big win, first win in MEA, just talking about the gamer tag itself, Kart Racer. I want to ask him where he got into. We actually raced in upstate New York at some of the same tracks, but just different times. So knowing some of the tracks that Kart Racer has been on in karting in real life, I know he's a momentum guy. I know he can figure out how to hold that momentum in the car really well. That's why I'm expecting some big things out of him here tonight.
And further back, look at this. If you're not paying attention, you might as well, because a fast driver is moving forward, and LMP Amoeba up to the 6th spot and on the charge right now as he gets by lap down car, JRFE Blade. Oh my gosh. I know I made it sound really intense there, but I actually rolled my foot, so sorry about the sad, fake, exciting moment that we just had there by me, but still a good battle up front. And Kart Racer coming down the pit road at this time. He immediately shuts the car down almost and gets down to a speed that is comfortable.
Oh, and he almost loses it there. That's a really tricky pit entry. Wow.
I know we're kind of sitting on this lead pack battle. You see Kart Racer coming out of the pits right now. There's Tsunami, and the mistake he said that he made, it might have been more costly than we might think here, as he's probably further back than you would expect coming out of the pits while these guys are coming around. And there goes Bobberts now to the inside of the pit entrance, and here comes new race leader RZM Sean to not only take the lead, but to get that first bonus point and only bonus point he can receive. As you see Aerovin in pit road and coming out as well.
Another driver, I'll be curious to see how he does exiting the pits. But he just had a phenomenal entry. It looked like he made a lot of time there, kept it very clean and tidy.
JJ Reds, he's going to stay out some more here. He didn't get the start he wanted in this race, and I definitely know, because he's through my race comms in one of our parties, and very frustrated from whatever happened early on in this race. A lot of ground still to make up as he runs in that 3rd spot. Sean stays out for another lap in this race. He's really pushing this car as far as he can.
And we just saw Bobbert, right on my screen, I saw Bobbert lose it there, went up in the grass, came up onto the banking, somehow saved that car. He was completely sideways pointing at the wall.
And that's the risk you take as a driver. Sean now coming down into the pits as he's going to take his pit stop. And that's what we said coming into tonight. You can make these pit stops happen, but you got to be careful as a driver that you don't overdrive or coming in or coming out of pit road. So LCR F1 Ben coming down pit road, and he's got MVP to follow. Let's hop on with Bobberts, who is in front of Kart Racer, as I'm trying to see if anyone's going to lead this other lap. It doesn't look like it. Or Barcode might be, though. He's staying out on the racetrack. Or no, whoa.
I was just going to say Barcode had a really, really nice pit exit. Got out of there very smooth, very clean. I think he just made up.
That's right, because the other two drivers made a mistake coming in and out of pit road. Barcode able to capitalize on, and look at this, possibly the race lead, a new race leader, ESV Barcode powers to the front.
What a great job on that pit cycle by Barcode. Don't work hard on the track, just save it in the pits, and look at that. Easy pass for the lead.
Gotten better every single week, and here he is tonight here at Homestead leading the way.
And it's like we talked about last week, Barcode's one of those drivers. He has the skill to just... What was that?
And Arrow, I don't know if anyone saw that, but he flew way up the racetrack between 3 and 4.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was lag or what there, but yeah, like I was saying, it's like we talked about, Barcode just has that skill. It doesn't matter what discipline it is, and Forza, he's just one of those drivers who's going to figure it out, and he's going to find a way to the front.
And RZM Sean now under fire from defending champion and pole sitter from today's race. ESV Bobberts running in that third spot, putting the pressure on, and Sean probably would like to get back the hiccup he made through the pits. He didn't really make a mistake in pit road, I don't believe. So, and you know the mistake by Kart Racer was pretty big. I mean, he's got a huge gap between him and Bobberts. But how about this? LMP Amoeba now in the 5th spot, and this man is on a mission. I'm telling you, he is coming, and he is coming hard. And not only that, JJ Reds through the pit cycle as well, Tsunami. He's up inside the top 5 too, so he's on the move.
Yeah, we're seeing the comers and goers right now in this part of the race. Laps are ticking down pretty quick. We're already on lap 50. Now's the time to really start making it happen. We're not seeing a lot of opportunities here for cautions. The way it's spread out at the moment, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. So, yeah, you really have to capitalize on that pit cycle, definitely for the next stop. And I don't think Amoeba's done yet. We're going to see him up front here pretty soon.
Amoeba is on the move. I mean, he's coming. Let me pull up the race map for those that are watching. And there's Kart Racer right there, and then there's Amoeba, JDMX Culture in 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th. And JJ's battling for that 8th spot. I'm going to hop on with Missile Vision, and let's see here as... And JJ Red's now on the offensive end here, so can he make the move here? This is a big, big time move because in front of him is his teammate, RZX Cam, and I know if you got a teammate out there and they know you're contending for a championship, 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna fight you for too long, especially if you're a lot faster than them.
Yeah, that's you have to hope for as a teammate, that they'll work with you and hopefully they understand your situation. But it is also easy to get caught in the moment of the race, and that racing mentality comes out. You don't want to give up anything. You always want to win, but you definitely don't want to just give up a spot either. So hopefully his team's paying attention to that and it works out. But we'll see.
You know, you got to feel for guys like JJ Reds and LMP Amoeba who currently were in that early accident of trouble in this race, and they've had to really climb their way back up through the field. Right now, we're near the halfway point of the race, and these guys, they got plenty of time to make stuff happen. A lot can still happen. A caution can come out. You know, just anything can happen at this point. And people are making mistakes in and out of pit road. So this battle for 8th, though, is turning into a three-way battle because not only is JJ on the offensive end, but they're reeling in RZX Cam.
Yeah, this race is far from over. And like you just mentioned, that pit entry and pit exit, I mean, a driver like Roberts, his caliber of driving, and to see that error, if there was a car coming around turn 1 and 2 when he did that, it could have been a huge accident. This could be a completely different race. So anything could happen as the next set of pit stops are coming up.
It looks like Arrow is either trying to just get out of the way, or I'm not sure what had happened to Arrowvin, but he definitely.
And speaking of Roberts, he's got to run on Sean here. He's coming up the inside going into turn 1.
Man, we got two different battles on the racetrack as Cam and JJ Reds are battling it out with missile vision, but we will hop on to the front here as Bobbert's fighting with Sean. Both of these two drivers contending for a championship right now, and without Katie in the mix, Sean needs a big day here today as he's trying to hunt down the leader. But look at Sean, he powers the outside line and he will maintain that spot. What a move by Sean, and that's not easy to do. This track offers you a couple of different lanes on the racetrack, and Sean really put the gas down, and he gave it. I mean, he was fearless in that moment, and that's what it takes to be a champion in this series. And if you don't got what it takes to take risks, you're not going to be a champion. Sean's showing right there that, hey, I know that you're a defending champion. I know you're seasoned in this series, but hey, I'm seasoned up to this point now too, and I know what I got to do. And what a great job by Sean right there.
Yeah, such a power move by Sean. And he's just showing his strength and how much he's improved on these ovals as well.
Meanwhile, Barcode really doing a fantastic job way out front all by himself. Bobbert's back to the inside of Sean now going into 1 and 2. He coming off of 2. Sean should have the momentum, but oh, and I'm hearing and caution is out, and Sean will maintain it. Not sure what had happened.
Looks like
I think
Arrow
Blade and
around.
Arrowvin got together. So caution comes out for the first time tonight.
And here it is. It's like we were just talking about. This is going to change everything.
Wow. Barcode got really nice lead. I mean, I'm sure he slowed down maybe a little later than the other guys did, but he had a good lead. And the fastest lap of the race is a 29.925 set by LMP Amoeba. So far, he's currently in the 5th spot. So it looks like a few of the drivers lap down. Everybody from 15th back right now lap down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we touched on this earlier. I don't know what happened to Frodo. I know he had made that pit stop, and then I was actually just checking through the field to see where he was, and just noticed he was out of the race.
All right, so I was just listening to the race comms. Right, sorry, I didn't. If you were talking to me, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I just mentioned if I'm not sure if we had noted that Frodo was out of the race. I don't know if he disconnected.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He's also out of the race. You know, that's a great point. He made the first pit stop of this race tonight, and we thought he lost ground, but not sure what had happened. So they're going to go around one more time, and pit road will be open next time around as the lap down cars are now getting the okay to get their laps back. Normally that rule applies when pit road opens up, but it looks like a team decision. Granted, it's not against the rules, so drivers are now getting their laps back. And only 3 of the drivers were lapped down, and to drivers like Blade and Arrow. And I know Arrow probably really needed that. He was involved in the very early accident. We watched him, Tsunami, kind of fade throughout this race. And it's got to be good if you're one of those drivers. You know, and not only him, I got to say MVP as well. He started pretty far up front. He has not made much ground.
Yeah, I think MVP was one of the drivers who got turned on that opening lap and never really recovered from it. I mean, we saw some other drivers caught up in it and were able to make that ground back up, but this is going to be a huge opportunity for MVP now to make a better run and try to make his way back to the front.
So it looks like only a couple of cars are coming down pit road. I think that's Missile Vision. No, that's Diamond Man. Yep, Diamond Man and Blade are coming in. Or, sorry, no, that's Arrow. Arrow comes in with Blade, so they're going to get some fresh tires, some fuel in the car, maybe shake up the strategy just a little bit here. But the big story is Amoeba, and he's really putting the pressure on these guys up front right now that he's there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does on this restart. The opening start of the race, he had a bad run off of turn 4 and lost all of his momentum right away, and that's what got him into all that trouble in the beginning. So I think he learned from that, and he's going to make a much better run here on this restart.
So here we go. Barcode to the inside, Sean on the outside, Bobberts and Kart Racer there as well. Then you got, Amoeba and Culture in the next row. Cam and JJ Reds, Freeze, and Vision. Actually, I'm going to hop on with Vision because I think we might see something that we don't want to see here early on a restart. But we're going to go back to green as Barcode leads the way.
And then we see a great restart by Barcode. Gets himself clear. Now it's going to be Bobberts and Sean trying to duke it out side by side.
And Sean's caught to the outside right there. He has no friends, and Cam really pinching on Missile Vision off of 2. Almost could have been catastrophic there. However, Sean still on the outside of Bobberts at 3 and 4, and Sean not able to make that power move we saw a little bit ago as he's going to fall back to 3rd. Behind them, though, LMP Amoeba under fire right now, it looks like, from JDMX Culture. And Kart Racer trying to make a move here on Sean as you see him get to the rear bumper. And JJ Reds now, look at him. He's now up there in the 7th spot.
Oh, we got somebody on the down the inside there on the back straightaway.
They're staying green, though. And that was Cam and Missile Vision, and I just got them talking about that. They were racing very aggressive, and Cam specifically really put down, the pinch on Missile Vision. Very fortunate that that wasn't worse.
Yeah, they got very lucky there. I think it taught them a little bit of a lesson to, hey, calm down a little bit. There's a lot of laps to go.
Now Sean on the defensive end again, stuck to the outside. He's got Kart Racer and LMP Amoeba to the inside, and Amoeba's giving Kart Racer all the push in the world. As he's also getting pushed by JDMX Culture with JJ Reds right behind him. And JJ, he's the first car looking from the outside in, and he's like, man, I got to get up there in this fight. But right now, he's got a car that's pretty good in the JDM 26 machine, as he's going to get caught to the outside, JJ's to the inside. But how about this? Sean got passed by Kart Racer, and Amoeba's on the run here. And Amoeba right now, I feel, is one of the best, if not the best car on the racetrack. But he's got a lot of work still to do here if he wants to get to the front and battle for the race lead.
Amoeba's making a big run here. I know it doesn't look as many positions yet, but you can just see the strength in that car here tonight. He's doing a great job. But I definitely would want to be Barcode or Bobberts right now. They don't need to battle too much. They're just cruising with that lot of cars behind the car.
And look at that, it's MVP now. He's going to try to shake things up as he's putting the pressure on. Look at this move, though. Oh, man, JJ Reds to the inside of Amoeba for the best spot, and he throws it deep into 3 and 4. Oh, but Amoeba scrapes the outside wall of 4. He scrapes it and loses all types of momentum. But look at this. Oh, MVP is going to try to capitalize on Reese. Oh, my gosh, Reese is throwing it way down, and it's 1 and 2. And he's going to slide up into MVP. Culture's going to capitalize. And Reese, he took a very risky call, and it cost him as he loses both the spots he just gained. And now Amoeba on the offensive end.
Yeah, tough break for Amoeba losing all that ground, but that just set him up to start making it back right away. throwing the slide jobs like we're on a dirt track, skating around. This is wild.
Amoeba able to clear BMS Rise. Meanwhile, in front of them, it's still your race leader, ESV Barcode, but now ESV Barcode's under attack by ESV Bobberts, and I'm telling you right now, these two are friends, these two are teammates, but not only that, Barcode has also missed a race this season, so he's out of the championship contention. And on top of that, he's not going to make it easy on ESV Bobberts, who does actually care about winning this race. But oh, Barcode smacks the outside wall off of 4. Kart Racer's got a huge run in. Oh my gosh, Kart Racer to the next lead! And Sean throws it way down to the inside. Trouble for the ESV drivers.
Great job by Sean to get around there, get up in the second spot, keeping him in the hunt.
I know we didn't mention it, but it's RCX JJ Reds now in the mix as well, and he's going to try to power by ESV Bobberts. But JJ Reds, it's not done just yet. He's got to maintain the inside line 1 and 2. So new race leader, Kart Racer, and we said it tonight. There's a few guys in this field that can get the job done, but your prediction lies right now at the hands of RZX JJ Reds and ESV Bobberts are currently running 4th and 5th. The other drivers all have had a race win so far this season, so still a lot of racing still to go here, but we're getting near the closing stages of this race. And look at behind! It's MVP to the inside door, the door off of 2! Amoeba now into the mix as well! Man, it's starting to get dicey out here. Look at me. Oh, before they smack the outside wall! And Amoeba just cannot capitalize, and he's sitting there and he's saying, man, I'm right here! And he gets to the outside of MVP, but he's got a block by Culture. Culture trying to maintain the outside line, MVP to the inside. Still side by side going in the 3. Meanwhile, in front, it's JJ Reds to the inside of ESV Barcode. They go through 3 and 4 now. Coming up from 4, Barcode to the outside has the momentum. Bobberts, he's going to take the outside with his teammate as they go into 1, and this is getting heated here at Homestead, Tsunami. I'm telling you what, this is an exciting race here today at Homestead.
Whoops, seeing some incredible driving now that everybody caught their breath under that yellow flag, and I think they're just wrecking up and up, and I think it's only going to get more exciting here as we get to the finish.
Behind them, it's MVP to the outside, Culture to the inside. Culture trying to make a pass. LMP Amoeba still trying to be patient, but just nothing happening for him. In front, though, Bobberts still struggling to try to get by Reds, who's now putting the pressure on ESV Barcode once again, but I think he's got him here, Tsunami. And Barcode gets passed by JJ Reds, and the tables have turned. As Bobberts is looking from the outside in. The only driver not up there yet is LMP Amoeba, who's in his own problems, but he's now to the inside of X-Culture right there. And Amoeba working hard. He had all the momentum until that caution came out. And Tsunami, I gotta ask you here, I know you haven't been in many of these types of races, but when you're in a rhythm and you've got that momentum build up, things like that can change in an instant. And right now, I think we're seeing is not only the factor of these other 2 drivers, but he's lost that rhythm and he's trying to find it again.
It's going to take him a little bit to get back into that rhythm. It's just like you said, with the oval tracks, it's very tricky. It's a very fine line keeping that rhythm. And I think the man who does have it right now is JJ Reds. He is on a mission. Since that yellow flag, he's been charging to the front, and he is not done yet. He's closing up on Sean really quick here.
And JJ, he was very frustrated early in this race because one of the comms guys, and he was showing very much displeasure on what had happened early in this race. And we knew that he was not having a very good race up to that point. He was on the outside the top 10. Good green flag stop for him, able to capitalize, was up to about 7th when the caution came out. So he was finding something, but like you said, since this restart, he is hot and he is on fire right now. As Kart Racer is starting to get away from these guys, but a lot of racing, like we said, is still left in this. A lot can happen, and these guys right here in 2nd and 3rd, they're competing for a championship, and I know Sean is not going to make it easy on them.
throwing that crew chief hat up for a moment here. It's that oh by the way moment. You got stops going up before long. A lot of these cars are down to about a quarter tank of fuel, so we're going to see some pit stops here shortly, and that's going to change things yet again.
Let's see here. Now that I'm gaining my breath back, I get so amped in the moment sometimes, but I mean, it's getting good. And right now, I do gotta say, Amoeba smacked that wall not too long ago. He's now caught back up to MVP and JDMX Culture. But behind them, we can't forget about the other drivers. BMS Rise, RZX Cam, RZX Nix, and that's Missile Vision. And I told you earlier in the race, I mean, Missile Vision has put himself in prime position, but it doesn't look like he's got the pace right now, and he's now outside the top 10 in the 12th spot.
Yeah, just a few struggles for Vision there, getting caught up in some things. And you give up that momentum, and you're going to lose 3 or 4 spots when you turn the battle and so tight like this. And he's just been on the unfortunate end of it.
And not only that, he's starting to lose ground. RZX Cam looking to try to fight for position on Rise going into 1. And Cam's been really tight on these guys and girls tonight, or I should say, well, all the girls are out at this point. But now he's just really putting a lot of car on car there. And what I mean by that, he's throwing the body of the vehicle into it as Amoeba dives down into the pits. So Amoeba had enough of what's going on, and he's going to try to make this a good stop. And man, he almost caught the grass, but he hung on a very fast pit entry by LMP Amoeba. Can he come out? That's the best part. But right now, battle for the second spot. It's RZM versus RZX. JJ Reds versus Shaw. But the ESV Bombers comes off of 2 with some momentum. And he couldn't capitalize. His kart racer now in the pits. Will he make that same mistake as the last time? As we try to look on here, and he gets in okay. RZM Sean, the new race leader. RZX JJ Reds, he's right here trying to fend off defending champion ESV Bobbers as LMP Amoeba now comes out of pit road. And Barcode is starting to lose ground on these guys as well. So a bunch of different things happening here, but this race has been very, very exciting. JJ Reds now entering pit road. Let's stay on with JJ here. See how he gets into the pit, because right now, oh no, JJ caught the grass. He's caught the grass up into the wall. Oh, and he gets into the pits. Very fortunate right there. That wasn't worse than what it could have been there. Sean still leads.
Very sketchy pit entry there. That's almost identical to what kart racers did the first time, so that's going to cost them a little bit of ground. See how this cycles through.
Sean and Bobbers. Now, Bobbers is in pit road now as well, and Bobbers gets into the grass as well! Problems for the defending champion! He does the same thing as JJ Reds, and that is a defining moment in this race, possibly for both of those drivers, as Sean makes the way. And here comes
oh, and JJ Reds loses it.
JJ messes up! Oh my gosh, JJ made us another mistake. Barcode had to pretty much lock up the brakes. It looks like a Barcode is now going down in the pit road, and I would say that's probably a good decision if you're Barcode to get the little flurries out of the way, because that had to be a hard moment for him. Sean still leads here, but right now all advantage goes to Sean, as MVP now and JDMX Culture are now pushing to the front. Amoeba crosses over, and Amoeba's actually passed JJ Reds through the pit cycle.
And it looks like, oh, a big block by Bobberts there. It looks like he's trying to hold off Kart Racer. They are side by side coming off turn 4.
We'll hop on with that battle. The 10th and 11th spot. These two are out front, and Amoeba and JJ Reds are behind them. So these two, you got 3 of the 4, or 3 of the 5, I should say 4, with Katie out of it now, of the champions contenders here going at it. And oh man, they're going door to door off of 2. Barcode actually gets out in front of them.
Another phenomenal pit cycle from Barcode, and Sean loses it trying to get down into the pits.
No! Sean with the same problem. That could be costly. MVP has led a lap in this race. Mark it down in your books, ladies and gentlemen. MVP has gotten his first bonus point, I do believe, of the season.
Oh, the battle is just heating up between Kart Racer and Bobberts. They are not giving an inch here. They know this one matters. This is a big move here.
And this race is getting heated up. And, I mean, a lot's going on here. And I think Sean had the worst entry of the 3 drivers that made mistakes as he's coming out of the pit road. You see him right there. Sean's going to have to get out and get up to speed fast because here they come. Kart racers to the inside of Bobbers. Barcode's trying to push. Sean now onto the racetrack. Can Sean get up to speed?
Oh, and they both
3
clear
wide.
Sean.
And Sean, but you know what? This isn't a loss for Sean. Sean is still in the fight, and now he's up to speed, and he can try to deal with these guys who are fighting hard as MVP is still leading.
Yeah, he's just behind these drivers right here.
Yeah, he's got a lap right now, like at least here, and he's in front of LMP, Amoeba, and JJ, who are trying to get in the mix of this fight right now. Here he goes, dives down into pit road. Your race leader, MVP, getting ready to make his stop. And let's just check on the other 2 drivers behind him. I know the battle is pretty good up front. Diamond Man 2014 is going to stay out. He was a driver that had a different strategy. He's going to take over the race lead. So Diamond Man going to pick up that bonus point. Yes, he does. He gets the bonus point off of 4. Aerovin stays out as well. He's got about 30% fuel in the car, but Kart Racer currently leading the battle that everyone wants to see. And look at this, Bobbert's now to the inside. It's not, maybe let you take this over for a minute.
Bobbert's through a perfect crossover coming up in turn 2 there. Switch lanes. He's able to make the pass here. Kart Racer's going to try to return the favor, do the same thing here. This pack, they're all bundled up together. This is going to be anybody's race. And oh, by the way, Amoeba's sneaking right up into this.
And this battle is heating up, and this is like a 6-7 car battle. I mean, this is exciting. 3 wide off of 2, and Amoeba's now in the fight. You got 4. Look at this. Hold on a second here, ladies and gentlemen. You got 4 contending racers for a championship right now, and 2 that have missed a race. And if they did it, they could have been fighting for this moment too. This is an amazing race right now. And I'm telling you what, Tsunami, this has got me on the edge of my seat.
This is a phenomenal race. I'm so glad I'm watching this one up here with you. These guys are battling within inches of each other. I don't know how they're not wrecking every lap here.
JJ Reds in the mix as well. Barcode's falling back behind the whole pack. I mean, they're literally trading off every single lap. They're changing, and it's exciting. And I don't think Diamond Man and Arrow can make it to the end on fuel. I mean, it's going to be tight. They might be able to make it happen, but they're going to have to start fuel saving if they want to get to the end. And if we pull up the race map, ladies and gentlemen, you can see where they are on track. Right now, they're both on the same straight, but Sean gets to the bumper of Kart Racer. Burn! Oh man, thought he had it for a moment there. Couldn't get the job done. Amoeba smacks the outside wall out of 4, but looks like it didn't cost him. And I'm hearing the race comms right now. I'm hearing Bobberts telling Kart Racer, would you like to see an 8th different winner this season? So Kart Racer getting a little bit of the smooching from Bobberts there to try to let him by. But it's not going to fly, and I'm telling you right now, it's anybody's race.
This is definitely still anybody's race, and we see JJ Reds coming back again after that mistake getting into the pit lane here. He is still right in the hunt. This is far for him.
And I'm telling you what, if you're a driver right now, I don't know if you're feeling excited about this moment or having a blast or what you're feeling right now. Is this stressful, do you think, as a driver, looking on as Bobbers now tries to battle for that spot for Kart Racer?
Oh, this is very stressful as a driver. I guarantee you every single one of these drivers are stressed right now. They know the slightest mistake could cost them drastically at this point in the race, and there's next to no time to recover at this point. They have to put it all on the line right now. It's all or nothing at this point. You gotta go. You gotta make the pass.
And Sean to the inside of Bobbers. They touch door to door. Amoeba throws it down to the inside. Amoeba's got a huge run with JJ Reds. 3-4 wide going into 3. And JJ might have came out on top, but Sean with a big run to the outside. And it looks like both JJ and Amoeba, oh man, they literally went by both Sean and Bobbers. Look at this. And MVP is on the way. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. MVP is moving in. And we might have another car fighting for the win. I tell you, this is the best race of the season so far. And kart racers starting to get a little bit of some distance on these guys. But I'm telling you what, it's not over yet.
Yeah, this deserves a shout out to the tuning package. I think I saw Vanquish's name on the tune. This new package that was brought for this week has been providing some phenomenal racing. Looks like the drivers are able to keep the car under control and just race really close to one another.
And our questions have been answered. BMS Aerovin, after leading a lap in this race, will get his bonus point. He's now in pit road, and Kart Racer will take over the lead with, like 25 laps to go. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hold on to your hats, hang on to your seats, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride to the finish. Amoeba putting the pressure on RZX JJ Reds now, and here's two guys tonight that we didn't think had a chance, but that yellow came out, Tsunami, and here they are, fighting up front.
And it's like we talked about early in this race. Just mind your manners, get past that halfway point, take advantage of a yellow if it comes, and they got lucky enough where there was that yellow early on, and here they are.
Ooh, and they're starting the distance just a little bit here.
Yeah, finally getting some breathing room here. The drivers are settling down just a little bit. Definitely still sweating a little bit there. I'm sure the nerves are still high. They know the laps are counting down, and I think out of all these drivers, maybe the most nervous at the moment. He definitely sees JJ closing that gap.
And yes, you are right about that, but it's not just JJ that's coming. It's also LMP Amoeba. These two guys have found something here tonight that I feel that we overlooked throughout most of this race. We knew Amoeba had pace, but when the caution came out and we went back racing, Amoeba had nothing for a moment. He made a pit strategy to get out of the battle he was in, and he's put himself in great position. So we also saw some mistakes in pit today. We saw, oh, here we go, JRFE Blade now, the lap down car.
Hopefully
and
he
if I'm Blade, I need, oh, Blade into the wall! Blade into the wall! But he hangs on to it, and JJ Reds powers by.
And I think Amoeba's going to benefit the most out of that. I was on board with JJ Reds on that one. I did hear enough to lift a little bit. Definitely the top.
And look at this. I don't know if there's a prayer for this guy or not, but MVP at the tail end of this. Now I know Barcode has lost a little bit of ground with these guys up front, but MVP is on the way, and if he can get by Barcode, he might be a factor at the end of this thing.
This race is definitely parking over, and it's too soon to tell who's going to end up on top here. There's definitely a lot more shuffling coming.
Well, the last lap that they can call a caution is during lap 117. The beginning of 118, cautions are cut off, and it's green till the end. We've only seen one caution here tonight at Homestead. What a fantastic race, and what a possibly fantastic. I mean, look at JJ. He is pushing him.
JJ's gotten into that draft bubble, and he is right there on Kart Racer.
And caution's out! Caution's out! Back straightaway! It's BMS Aerovin in trouble on the back straight! And I'm not sure, that was also LCRF to embed. The caution comes out for the second time tonight.
Oh, man, oh, man.
Wow.
Here it is.
That changes everything.
This has been
that
incredible.
Changes everything. No, I know. It was getting so good there. JJ was on the run, and who is better on the restart with rhythm? You gotta find it again, and I don't know how this is gonna play out. It's gonna be really crazy.
Yeah, it's a big unknown coming in, but I'm gonna be keeping my eye on JJ Reds and Amoeba. They were both drivers who fell back early and had to make progress from that last yellow. I think they're gonna have something special here.
And pit road will be open this time. The lap down cars will get their laps back at this time. And I'm telling you what, JJ was coming. And I don't know, I mean, I just feel like JJ had the car there to really pressure. And this is the problem. Now the restart matters. Can JJ time that restart? That is a factor here. You can't pass the leader across the start line, but he can literally start this race, this restart off really, really well. All he needs is a little bit of just just thinking about it, right? It's a moment thing, and I know you can't base it off of other restarts.
Yeah, every restart's going to be a little different. And don't rule out kart racer here. Like I mentioned earlier, racing up in New York State in the karts, we deal with a lot of yellows up there on those tracks, and I know he's got a few tricks up his sleeve as well for a good restart.
Ooh, and I just heard Kart Racer selected the outside line for this restart. That puts JJ Reds to the inside.
Very interesting move here.
All right. I'm just going to hop on with RZX Cam. I'm going to hop on board with him. He's the first of two drivers looking from the backside, and also Culture's up there. We can't forget about Culture. He's had a good car today, just wasn't there at the end of that run. He can also be a factor. I don't know, but here we go. And we're back to green.
Great start from Kart Racer.
And it looks like JJ was able to clear that second spot. JJ was okay on the restart. It sounded like some frustrations on the restart, but look at this. We're back where we left off. It's JJ putting the pressure on Kart Racer. Now Sean battling with LMP Amoeba, and Bobbers and MVP duking out with Barcode right behind him. You have JDMX Culture as well in the mix as we hop on board with MVP here. And, woohoo! JDMX Culture making it hard on Barcode, and oh man, he gets to the inside. Really fought for that spot. He'll slide right in front of him.
And Amoeba and Sean are side by side coming down the backstretch here. Amoeba really wants to get past Sean and get up here to try to contend, but Sean is not making it easy on him.
And Sean's got a good car tonight. He's got a very good pace. He's doing a fantastic job. I can't rule out Sean yet. You can't rule out any of these cars. I would say in the top 8 right now. Even though Culture was able to get by Barcode, he's been a good car all night long. So has Barcode. And we're really seeing the racing come out great here tonight. Look at this, 2 wide between MVP and Sean. MVP wants a little bit of action right now, and MVP has not had a great season. MVP has been up front, but the biggest problem about MVP is he hasn't been able to finish a race. Can he do that here tonight? That's a big question mark. And I see that JJ Red's in trouble. He's lost a little ground on Kart Racer for the first spot, as LMP Amoeba was able to deal with Sean. And well, here we go again. Possible first-time winner right there in that second spot, Tsunami. Your prayers are possibly going to be answered, but he's got some winners around this season. ESV Bobbers back there in that fourth spot, and again, anybody's race.
Yeah, this is going to be really important for JJ Reds to not focus too much on Amoeba, but really try to close that gap on Kart Racer. Just keep using that draft and get back up to him. Don't let Amoeba distract you and lead you in momentum here.
Did I say before this race tonight I didn't have any energy? Because I'm telling you, I don't think that was a real thing. I think the race has given me that, that little boost, you know what I'm saying? That little pop that we all love when we're watching racing. And right now we're seeing the top 5 starting to drift away. Or sorry, I apologize. Top 4 starting to get away. MVP, on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, he's now in the 5th spot, and he's starting to make some moves here.
Yeah, MVP is coming. I've been watching from the onboard of JJ Reds and looking backwards, and you can see MVP's cars closing in. That car is getting bigger and bigger on the screen.
And further behind them, it's RZX Nix trying to put some pressure on ESV Barcode for the 8th spot. We haven't seen a whole lot of Nix tonight, but he and his teammate RZX Cam right there in the 9th, 10th spot. They're looking from the outside in on these guys that have been up all night long. And right now it's 4-car battle for the race lead, but 10, almost 11 laps to go in this race. A lot still can happen right now. We're at the 6th lap home stretch here. And I'm going to hop back up with JJ. And JJ looks like he's found a little bit of that momentum we were talking about on that last of that run. And, how important it is to try to regain your momentum in these races. And this is a very big push right now between these 4 up front. And Kart Racer, he's trying to make it 2 for the season. So is Amoeba, but Bobbers and JJ, they haven't won yet, and I think they're going to be the ones that are willing to take the most risks here. At least I would think JJ is. Bobberts has that comfortability being, you know, about 30-something points in front of RZ and Sean, and with Sean further behind right now, you know, I don't know how much you push if you're trying to make something happen here late. I know Bobberts really would like to get that win, especially on the oval, but is it worth it? I don't know. I know for JJ and Amoeba, this matters a lot right now, and being in front of Bobberts, it matters a lot. And I think if you're Bobberts too, Tsunami, you don't want to press too much, because if you get into an accident or cause your own wreck, you don't collect anybody else by, you know, accident, obviously, you're going to lose a lot of points here tonight. So I think Bobberts might be trying to start settling in a little bit and thinking, you know what, is it that important? Do I got to go out and try to do more, or maybe sit where I'm at?
Well, and I think that's where the champion mentality of Bobberts Intelligence is going to come in here. He knows Amoeba's fast, but he also knows that Amoeba's made a few mistakes tonight. So he's counting on these guys ahead of him, get into a battle, make a mistake or two, and he's going to pounce. But I don't think he's going to be overly aggressive here, because just like you said, you can't give up those points.
A lot of these four are still kind of solo file. Let's go further back. I'm going to hop on with RZM Sean. He's in that 6th spot. He lost that spot from the 5th spot from MVP, but he's on the offensive end once again, and he's putting the pressure on MVP. Meanwhile, Barco's trying to get a position back as well. He's putting the pressure on JDM X Culture, and he's still under fire from RZX Nix as they go across the line and caution free the rest of the way.
All right, so this is the battle we got to the end here. One of these four, I think, are gonna make it happen. JJ Reds is getting a run as he closes on Kart Racer. So does Amoeba. So this is far from over.
And I'm gonna keep an eye. We got to keep an eye on that 5th place battle, because Sean right now is probably gonna put as much pressure as he can on MVP. Very critical push. Oh my gosh! Look at the block by Kart Racer. That weaving, man, he's really trying to keep JJ behind, but JJ now gets to the rear quarter panel at 1 and 2.
That weaving's going to cost him. That's going to break that momentum. And look, here comes Bobberts on the outside of Amoeba as well.
And JJ, he's going to probably use that bumper maybe a little bit, try to get him a little bit shaky.
Yeah, we know JJ wants this win bad, and he's going to give whatever he has to do to get it.
Bobberts tried to make a move to the outside, wasn't able to get the job done. Amoeba was able to hold him off, and Bobberts lost so much momentum, might have taken him out of the race win. Now, the battle for the race lead is on. It's JJ Reds to the inside of Kart Racer. First and second go head-to-head, coming off of turn 2. Only a few laps left to go, and we got a battle for the race lead.
Oh, it's really going to come down to who Amoeba drafts with here. He can help push one of these guys past each other, but he seems to be staying up top.
And Amoeba might got to run to the outside line, going into the 1. Amoeba's putting all types of pressure on JJ Reds, and now that really ruined the battle between JJ and Kart Racer, with JJ hanging on to that mid-side line, not going to be denied again. And JJ still hangs on with a couple of laps to go, but he's going to need the biggest push of his life to get by Kart Racer, who now has once again in control of the front of this pack.
And JJ got it. He got a huge push down the back straightaway there.
Ooh, but man, JJ was trying to weave to the inside. He's trying to block Amoeba, it looks like. I don't know if that was a block or maybe just a little squiggly there. Amoeba looks to the inside of JJ now as they come off of 2. 1 lap to go here at Homestead as round number 8 is coming to a close. Kart Racer still leads, going for the 2nd time this season. JJ Red's going for his 1st win of the season. White flag in the air, here we go! JJ needs one of the biggest runs of his life, and look at the cross. I mean, he's doing something. He's trying to find some speed. He's trying to find some type of momentum. He's trying to do everything he can here late. Only 2 turns to go, and Kart Racer leads off of 2. JJ Red's trying to find a line. Will he throw it? Will he give it his all? 3 and 4, here we go. He doesn't do that just yet, but it doesn't matter. Kart Racer coming off a 4 for the final time. He will win his 2nd race of the season, and here at Homestead. And JJ disappointed with the finish. And I know he wanted that one really, really bad.
Wow, what a race. What a finish. Whew.
And let's see what happened. I didn't see what Sean did at the end. Oh, Sean fell back to 12th.
Yeah, Barcode and Sean were pretty far back. They're coming up to the end. I don't know what happened. I saw the bunch of cars, but we were focused on that lead battle for the final lap.
And Sean was in the mix too, and it was wild for sure. And I do believe that I guess Ben actually finished 15th instead of 11th. So we'll get the top 5 in here for post-race interviews coming up next. As what a finish and what a race. I mean, whoo! That was spicy, and yeah.
Well, we can officially say that streak is over. We've now had a repeat winner this season. And who better than Kart Racer on the ovals? I mean, just phenomenal job.
So your top 5, and MVP was able to hang on. And we're going to get the top 5 in here momentarily. Let's pull them in. And I'll tell you what, wasn't ready for that. I didn't know we were going to get ourselves one heck of a race here today. And we certainly did. And gosh, you got to feel for some of them out there. But it was a great race. I don't think that none of these drivers should be ashamed of their performances today, because I think it was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, just spectacular through and through, all the way from the first lap to the end there. It was just a great battle from so many drivers, so many comers, goers, and you couldn't ask for a better race.
And I'm trying to make sure I got everybody in here. I might have not have invited everybody, but we'll just re-invite JJ again. I know that MVP's in here. Another Bobberts. I'm pretty sure. No, you know what? Kart Racer's one that I didn't invite, but we'll give him the old invite since he won. I guess we ought to honor that. And we need Bobberts, and we still need JJ too, but we'll wait a second here and get them in. Whoo! And I tell you what, I did come into this race. I did say, I don't know what type of energy I'm going to have tonight for this, but yeah.
Yeah, that definitely changed mid-race. You went from sleepy, stumbling on your words, to just edge of your seat, losing your voice from screaming.
Definitely. And okay, so now I believe once JJ loads in. All right, there it is. All right, so Bobber's Kart Racer, Amoeba, JJ, MVP. Just make sure that your include audio is checked off in the party chat, and we will begin the interviews here tonight. And I know that a lot of drivers had question marks coming into tonight's race. Is the new tune good? Is it going to be what we saw last time? But we saw only, 3 cautions here tonight. We saw really great racing, and we're going to start with USA MVP finishing finally. Now you are here to talk to us, MVP, and it has been a heck of a night for you. You fought through a lot of adversity through this race. We didn't see you for the longest time. Before the last couple of cautions, you were on the way, and there you were late. It took you too long to get by Barcode, it seemed, or Sean, one of the two, and then those 4 were just too far out front. But able to get up there and get a 5th place finish tonight, it had to feel great.
Absolutely. I mean, with how my season for sure has gone, especially on the ovals, this was definitely something I really needed before the season ended.
And, everyone saw you as possibly one to watch for the season. I know you came into the season with, the humbleness, the I don't think so, mentality, but you've had good races all season long. The results haven't shown for them. You've been in multiple bad last-second accidents. We saw it back at Indianapolis as well. And finally, some good luck came your way. But take us through the first race here at Homestead, and now this race. It seemed completely different between the two things. And what do you feel the factors could have been for the type of performance we saw between the field tonight and the first time?
almost want to say it's something about it was a little similar. It's just this one, obviously, you could handle better in a pack, and you could have someone directly behind you and not upset the car. But dirty air still played a lot for this race. Like, if you didn't absolutely get a run, or if the person in front of you didn't make a mistake, it was still a struggle to pass. Especially when everyone, like top 8, top 9, were so even on pace.
And, you know, MVP, it's just been one of those seasons, you know, like you said, it hasn't been the season you wanted to have. A lot of problems for you overall, but tonight, everything seemed like it was clicking as the race started to go along. And what were some of the things in this race that really changed for you over the course of it that put you in position to give you an opportunity there at the end?
I'll be honest, probably after that first caution is when I was able to start get things rolling, because the first 50 some laps I didn't get anything going my way. I got in an incident first few laps in, and then first cycle of green flag pit stops, caught the grass on the exit of 2 and spun out, and I caught a break finally. That's all I can say. I finally caught a break when that caution came out, and I could reset.
Now, we know that you and Sean were battling there at the end for 5th and 6th. Did you see what happened, or were you two battling? And I know that Sean kind of fell off. What had happened from your point of view, or were you even involved?
I wasn't involved. I heard the commotion behind me. I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to see if anything from the top 4 was going to happen. See if I could maybe get some luck out of it.
And, you know, I got to ask, because I know you've been involved in a couple of unfortunate circumstances this season, and whether it was your fault or not, you know, here you are finishing solid. Was there any difference in the racing there at the end for you, or, you know, focusing on the guys in front compared to the guys in the back, or is it something that you just you do the same thing every single week and you just hope for the best when you're running?
I personally do the same thing. Like, obviously I come into the race knowing the pace I could run, especially on the ovals. Like, everyone here, I'm pretty sure, has heard me say I was not confident on the ovals, but I finally put the work in. I've finally gotten more comfortable, and it's just being able to manage and be at the right place at the right time.
Well, congratulations on finally a little bit of a breakthrough for you. I know that this season could have been completely different for you in the championship hunt, but with some unfortunate things that came along the way, that kind of put you out of the contention. But 2 weeks still to go. This has to give you a little bit of momentum going into Sonoma. How do you feel about going into Sonoma and then coming back here for double the laps?
I feel good. Sonoma, we'll still see, because obviously now it goes back to our road course ringers. I mean, I kind of call myself that, but I'm like nowhere where most of the people in here know who the road course ringers are.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on a top 5 finish. Very well deserved, very hard fought, and we look forward to seeing how you finish up the season. But congratulations on a great day.
Thank you very much.
That was USA MVP, ladies and gentlemen, 5th overall tonight. Really fought for that one, and definitely put on a show for many of you watching. And we'll move up to the defending champion and pole sitter for tonight, ESV Bobberts. And Bobberts, what an exciting race from the front. I know that it had to be stressful, it had to be exciting at times, and, you know, obviously being someone in a position to kind of keep track of what's going on in the race, it adds a little bit of a factor. But for you, that's usually not a big deal. And you had some issues with pit road tonight, and I know that it happened for Sean, it happened for JJ, and I'm sure a couple other drivers as well. But you guys on that big second run, I mean, 6-7 cars swapping positions back and forth, fighting up and down. It seemed like it never was going to end, and I feel like that late caution probably disappointed some people just because of how great it was. But there you were at the end battling, and was only able to finish top 4 there. But it had to be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, that's the one thing I can definitely take from tonight. It was a hell of a lot of fun. I think, you know, the racing this week was some of the best that we've seen all season, or at least from my perspective anyway. And I'm sure near enough everybody else in here can say exactly the same. So yeah, that was a plus point, and obviously going side by side with Car Racer for 5-6 laps consistently was Shirel was something. But I won't lie, I'm disappointed. I I'm not going to brag, but I think I should have won that race. I think I had the best pace overall. Maybe not consistently, perhaps as much as some others, but when the laps were coming, the laps were there, and it was only because I was held up by a I think Blade, because I was pulling a gap that they then caught back up to me, so I was a bit peed. So, but that's racing at the end of the day.
And we did see a couple of moments tonight where during the green flag runs and even the green flag pit stops, we've seen where a couple of times the drivers would come in and off pit road, and it became a factor, and you had to be careful as a driver on track to avoid them coming on, and I'm sure that played a little bit of a deal there. But you talked about how you got positives out of tonight, and I know that this is one of the things that are still a chip on your shoulder, winning that oval race and showing everybody I can do this, and you can do it. But getting the pole was a great start, but the result obviously not what you would like in that scenario. Just how tough was it tonight overall, outside the fun and some of the mishaps? What made it so challenging tonight for you, and where do you feel that maybe outside of the pit issue, maybe that you lacked a little bit outside of that, also the confidence factor?
Obviously, as you said, yeah, the pit issue was a problem. Don't need to go into that more because I messed it up both times. But I think, as MVP touched on there, that it was, when you were literally right with somebody, I mean, there are times that maybe you could absolutely nail it as a pack, as we did towards the end of the race. But then there were also times where it could get you completely loose, you sent up the track, and then obviously that gives the car behind a potential opportunity. But at the same time, they could just be following you and just don't get the run. So it was more difficult on that respect, I guess you could say, but the pack racing was much closer, as we've touched on it, so it was a lot more fun. So I think making these changes was a good thing to do, and I think at least from maybe 90% of everybody on my party side, at least, I think they said exactly the same, or they had fun.
Bobbers, you have a nice little cushion with the exception of Sean having a very unfortunate ending to his night. The points gap has closed in a little bit for JJ Reds and Amoeba, and I know that the job isn't done yet. I know as a 3-time champion, going for your 4th consecutive. What does these next 2 weeks have to be like for you in order to secure that championship, and what's the mentality you got to have after having a week like today where you feel like maybe I should have won, but you can take those positives with you?
I guess the main thing is, as I have done for most of the season at least, is to keep the consistency going, keeping the results coming in. Thankfully, wasn't caught up in anything tonight, so I suppose that's a first or a positive. So there was that, but the main thing that I want to do is win a race, and I haven't done that yet. So car race is spoiled fun, if the first person going to wins the season. So that's terrible. There goes the fun streak gone now. So, but like I said, it was. I just had fun tonight, and it was good to see. The racing was just so much better overall. So I look forward to we come back to Homestead again for the final race. But obviously go to Sonoma. I've had success there in the past, but so has Amoeba. It's one of Amoeba's strongest, if not maybe his strongest track, arguably as well. So we'll see what next week brings.
And real quick, you talked about kart racer. I with the race comms, I heard a little bit over the comms that you were trying to smooch over a little bit of kart racer to keep that streak alive. What did he say, and what was the exchange there?
Oh, it was never going to happen. I mean, obviously JJ was there as well, so he could have made it, 8 from 8 as it were, and he did have at least obviously towards the end a couple of opportunities, but I think that push that Amoeba gave to Kart Racer, I think 5 laps or 4 laps from the end kind of put an end to that. So, but still, full credit to Kart Racer. He got to where he needed at the right moments and held his position well. And like I said, going battle, side by side with him for 5-6 laps just shows the really good driver that he is. So he deserves the win tonight, and who knows, maybe he could get a triple.
Well, congratulations on a solid result here tonight. Obviously not what you were looking for, but consistency, and that's what matters here in this series specifically. You got to have that consistency and have the results. But nonetheless, congratulations on a good job here tonight. hopefully that win can get, within these next couple of weeks. But we know you're going to do the best you can, and you're going to be very strategic with what you do on track. So congratulations on 4th overall tonight in a hard-fought battle.
Cheers.
That was ESV Bobbers, ladies and gentlemen, 4th overall tonight. And a man that was on an early mission after an early mishap, LMP Amoeba. And I think, Amoeba, you were also involved in that same incident that MVP was. I'll be honest, we didn't see it on stream, at least from my point of view. I knew there was problems on track, but, that first 20-plus lap run where your cautions don't get called, it put you in a position, and you seemed to respond pretty well. You fought through the field really, really hard, and then after that big stretch, caution came out. You're running 7th at that point. It put you in great spot there at the end, and you drove one heck of a race there all night. And just take us through all that.
Yeah, that first, I don't know exactly what happened, but I was on the outside, and all of a sudden, the cars on the inside of me were flying up the track. So I had nothing I could do, and just get back going, pick them off one by one. And yeah, at the end, that was pretty exciting. The 4 of us, we were just so close in speed that someone had to make a mistake to really make a pass. But yeah, 3rd place is great. I know JJ and I are almost tied in the points now, probably. So I was really unsure of the tune going in. I didn't like it through qualifying, but it put off a good race, and I think most people like it. So that's definitely a positive.
And you talked about the tune, and we'll talk more about the race in a second, but did you feel that the tune was a difference tonight from the old setup when we were here at week 2? And did you feel that when you were out of finally being by yourself, that it made a big difference in the pack?
Yeah, the pack we were running pretty much the same times as by yourself. You had to drive it a little differently because of the draft. It's weak, but it's still there. So it was pretty close. You had to lift off in turn 1 in the draft, which you did by yourself. But once I figured that out, and it wasn't as bad as last time where someone got right behind you and you were like 50-50 gonna wreck. You just had to drive it a little differently, but it wasn't as sketchy as last time. So I think it did the job.
And you talked about the race a little more, and you were also involved in that 6-7 car race, and take us through all that. That was a lot for just anybody. I know we got some of Bobbert's spots there on it, and you were very much part of it. There was a point where Barcode Sean and Bobbert swapped places with you and JJ, and you guys kept going back, forth. Car racers just chilling up there, defending spots, right? You guys just constantly swapping. I mean, that had to be wild from your point of view.
Yeah, I was kind of sad there was a caution there because the 4 of them were battling so hard that me and JJ got up there, and it was like right when we got there after a lap there was a caution. So if it was the 6 of us that kept battling there for the rest of the race, that would have been wild. But still at the end it was 4 of us for the last number of laps. I don't think you could really ask for much more. It was crazy, but we raced clean and actually finished the race. It hasn't happened in some of these ovals. That I feel like most people got to finish deserving of pretty close to where they were. I know Sean had an incident at the end, but it was a lot less random in the finishing order than we've seen for previous races.
Amoeba, you're fighting for a championship once again, and just like in the last few seasons, the last couple of years, you're still looking from the outside in, and tonight you were able to get in front of Bobberts, not in front of JJ, but you two are so close in the championship. A lot still going to happen, but that mountain, still pretty steep for you. I know that you handle pressure really well, and we talked about it before, but you got 2 races to go, and Bobbert said Sonoma, one of your best places, and I would have to agree. It's been a place that's been really good to you in the past. We know that you can run here at Homestead, so we know that round 10 could be very, interesting amongst the field, but Sonoma next week particularly, I mean, do you look forward to that race at all, or what's your mentality going into Homestead?
Yeah, I look forward to both races. It's really probably my 2 best tracks, maybe, but anyway, I can't feel bad about either track, and I think it's a great way to end the season. I couldn't ask for more, and my best chance to win the championship, or at least finish second, so yeah, I'm really happy with those tracks coming up.
You talk about track selection. The schedule this year, Homestead was brought 3 times on. How do you feel as a driver with Homestead technically being back-to-back almost, but it's there, it's not, it's there. How does that affect you as a driver, do you feel, going into those final couple weeks and then coming back for a race that not only did you win early in the year, but here you were again tonight, possibly able to win it, and then you got a little bit extra laps, well, probably a whole nother hour worth of laps going into that championship. Take us to the mindset of that.
Yeah, I think, well, I've driven both tunes now for Sonoma and Homestead, so I feel pretty good about them. They're pretty good. I know what I'm doing, and yeah, going into this race, I was kind of unsure, but kind of know what to expect in the next 2 races. So, yeah, no excuses. Gotta finish it off strong. I'll definitely do what I can to win.
And, and I want to mention one more thing to you. You came into the season with a bunch of question marks from a lot of your competitors and other people saying, can Amoeba make it happen when it counts most this season? Will he try to work a little bit better on his pit strategy? Do you feel that you've changed your pit strategy at all this season to where it's been a little bit more conservative, not so much as a volatile thing for you? And it seemed like tonight's race, what really put you in position is you just stayed the course, where in the past you've been taking risks and it just hadn't worked out as much.
I did take a risk. I actually pit when I wasn't going to have enough fuel, planning on a caution there, and that's what got me a few spots. That's really the only time this season I've even had a chance to make something happen. I know my chances of winning the championship aren't great, and I got to take whatever chance I can now. Kind of the first half of the season was like, yeah, I'll just get points, but at this point I got to do everything I can to try and pick up some spots.
Well, I know that your season started off on a rocky foot at Daytona, and then again at Daytona it wasn't the best, but here you are still fighting for a championship 2 weeks ago. A lot can still happen, but congratulations on a heck of a night and 3rd overall on the podium. It's got to feel good, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep, I'll see you next week.
And that was LMP Amoeba, 3rd overall tonight. Winner the first time here, 3rd overall the second time. So Amoeba, he's liking this track a little bit. So we'll have to see when he comes back for the championship. But the first things first, Sonoma is still in the way. And we move up to the runner-up spot. The man that probably wasn't excited about that late caution during that long run. He had a lot of momentum coming in, but just not enough there at the end. And RZX JJ Reds on probably one of the best performances we've seen all season long of you. We knew you had it. We just didn't know if it was going to come out. And you were in position, prime position tonight to really steal the show, and just came up slightly short there.
Yeah, I mean, we got wrecked on like the first 5 laps. I don't even know what lap it was anymore, but made a comeback drive, moved past all the slower drivers, and then the pit stop gained us more spots there. And then the caution, the first caution, kind of helped there. We were able to, I was just outside looking in from the top 5, and then they all started battling when they came out of the pits, and then that kind of helped me get up to them. And I don't know what to say about second. I mean, win would probably make this even better, but I'm just really not too thrilled with how second was tonight. And I mean, I've tried my very best to do what I can. I've made it clear to everyone that I'm not going to be the nice guy. I'm not going to be your average race car driver. I'm just going to be as aggressive as I can to get up to the front. I thought I was aggressive there at the end. Car racer made a mistake on trying to block me. That cut his time off, and then we were able to get side by side. And then on the front stretch, like 3 laps to go, Amoeba arrow pushed kart racer basically to the win, and that eliminated both of our shots to win the race. But it just really sucks that we weren't able to cap it off tonight.
And I can hear it in your voice. It's definitely a bummer when you hear about it. But you were running one of the best races you ran all season. You were coming there hard at the end. I know you didn't want to see that caution. How much did that caution affect you there, do you think, at the end? Do you think that you had the car to get by him? And, before that came out, I mean, that, just take us through those moments. Because, I mean, that was a pivotal moment for you, I think, in this race.
I mean, I don't know what was behind me. It might have been Bobberts or Amoeba. Kind of like 3 tenths back, and then kart racer was struggling because of the draft, trying to manage his lines going through the corner. And I feel like I could have had a very easier shot to pass him if that caution didn't come out. And then I knew he was going to take the outside line, So what I did was I tried to pin him up against the wall as best I could, because thought that might have been better, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, yeah.
Well, I know JJ, you're still in the fight for a championship as well. Just like Amoeba, there, you're going to be climbing a little bit, and I know that Sonoma hasn't been a clear favorite for you, but going into Sonoma, you know what has to be done. You know the job that's ahead. What's one of the biggest factors for you going into next week?
I mean, the factor for me would probably be just, I mean, Coda, I was just trying to salvage whatever I can, because I know I'm not going to improve any position to what I had there, but, I mean, Sonoma, it's not entirely bad for me. I know it's going to be reckless and chaotic there, but it's going to be probably no promises for me. I'm going to have to do whatever I can and try to get the best results possible, position myself for Homestead in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, just really sucks. I feel like we could have jumped the gun there a lot if we would have won that race, but things happen.
And you know, you were also part of that mix-up there in that second group. You know you're going to come back here again in 2 weeks' time, and it seemed like the racing on track, from at least everyone's point of view, felt a little bit better for you. How did you feel on track, and how wild was it for you to be in part of that 6-7 car battle?
I mean, it was all right. I guess clearly it was tough to pass people because of the dirty air. I mean, the tune's performance, its let-off time, and you know how good it handles through draft, and its turning. Yeah, I mean, it's better, but that dirty air, it doesn't take that out of the way. But I mean, I really don't know what to say. I mean, I'm just really disappointed on how tonight was.
Well, obviously not the result you wanted, but a great result overall. And 2 weeks still to go, a win still possibly in your sights, and a championship that might seem to be an uphill climb, but still anything can happen for you as well. And a second overall finish tonight wasn't too bad. So at least I think it was a great result the way you were driving. But congratulations on a solid finish, and I know that you got 2 weeks still of work to do. So we'll see you next week, and we'll see what you got, and hopefully you can get one of those wins along the way. And that was RCX JJ Reds, second overall tonight. And the race winner, Kart Racer, once again for the second time this season in back-to-back weeks. And Kart Racer, if you didn't miss one event, you probably would be in the fight for the championship, or at least one of the drivers in the mix. And how does that make you feel, knowing that you could have probably been in the mix here late in the season?
Well, it's definitely not the best feeling, knowing that now is the time that I'm actually shining, and you know, I'm not getting involved in many wrecks anymore. I guess I've kind of figured out how to race around people and who to be aware of in here. I mean, 2 in a row, I can't really complain about that, especially here. I've always had a problem winning here, but I've always been so good here. So knowing that, you know, the final race, it's definitely looking pretty good, you know, and possibly would have had a chance to compete for a championship. That would have been, I feel like that would have been great.
Well, I know that you're not going to be in the fight for it in these next couple of weeks, but 2 weeks still to go for you. And you were in the mix of that battle as well, as along with many of these other guys here today. And you were kind of on the softer end of it. You were leading most of it. But for you, how difficult was it to be a part of it, being that you were the guy pretty much fending everybody off behind?
It was difficult. I will say that. I feel like I thought it was going to be a lot easier to drive around, especially during qualifying. I knew it was going to be a tight race, but I thought being in the draft you were going to pull right away. But I guess the case was you had to be a single car. And once I was able to break free, I think it was the first and only time, you know, I was able to run my line a little better, and unfortunately, I couldn't improve my lap time too well, but I mean, being a part of that little fight with four to six cars, that was probably the most fun I've had in here. You know, battling Bobberts for, I don't know, probably like six, 7 laps, I want to say, and then battling JJ at the end. That got my heart pounding. I won't lie. I was, a little shaky, and then I calmed myself down as soon as, I got down that front stretch and then got that push. I calmed right down and started running a better line.
Yeah, it was definitely shaky there at the end. He gave you a run on the inside. It looked like Amoeba kind of shook him up there after the battle because he was right there too, in the mix of all that. And then you were able to kind of get away from him. But 2 back-to-back wins, it has to feel good, 1 and 2. Your take on the difference between the first time we were here and the second time?
I will say it was definitely cleaner. It was still difficult to get around. I feel like the other tune was easier to drive, but when JJ was on my bumper there at the end, it was Sean. I'm sorry, Sean. When Sean was on my bumper at the very near the end, I wasn't sliding as much, but I still got fairly loose enough to where he could, make a pass. But I mean, it was more fun. Would I say it was better? We had less cars tonight, and I feel like a lot of those cars that weren't here were the cause of it not being so clean in the beginning or at the first time. I mean, for this being almost full throttle and able to battle, I'd say I'd like it. It's a nice win for a tune,
Well, you're able to pick up your second win here tonight, and I'm not going to ask how your Sonoma race is going to go because I know that's a big question mark for many people, but you got 2 weeks to go. What are you looking forward to the most, and what are you going to have to do to try to pick up a couple more wins?
Sonoma, that is going to be a struggle, I will say that. That one I would have to win by pure luck. Other than that, I don't think there's a shot of, even a little glimmer of light that would allow me to even be in competition to win that. But the next Homestead, I feel like as long as I did the same thing as I did tonight, I have a really good chance of it. I'm at least hoping to make the top 5 in points.
Well, nonetheless, a lot of work still yet to be done for you, and congratulations on a heck of a race tonight. It was very hard fought, and it was very tough, but you're able to steal the deal for your second win on the season, and your first driver, I should say, to be able to get that second win on the season. So I'm sure you're pretty excited about that. You can kind of tell all the other competitors, hey, you might have gotten that, but I got 2 this season. So I'm sure you're looking to add on more, but congratulations on a great night.
Thank you.
And that was Kart Racer, ladies and gentlemen, as he was your race winner. But Tsunami, we had one heck of a night, and give us your thoughts on what you watched and what we should take from this race.
Going from chaos at Indianapolis last week to the close battles that we saw tonight was just incredible. The driving was phenomenal for all the drivers in the fields. I mean, to see 4, 5, 6 cars in a pack there for a while battling was just edge of our seat fun. I think it's building up for an incredible final 2 races of the season. I can't wait to see what's coming next.
Hey, I got to say the same thing. This race really lit a fire under my chair. It definitely had me on the edge of my seat as well, and probably the best race we've seen all season for sure. I would definitely put this as number 1 on the chart of races we've had, just because of just how amazing that was. And we've also seen the least amount of cautions this season in this race, which really helped with the rhythm for these drivers to be able to really put on a good performance. But like you said, we've got 2 weeks still to go. Sonoma has always been a tough place to pass, but a very exciting race typically. And then we come back here for an additional 100 or so laps. So we got a couple hours or so of racing then. But still anybody's championship, still anybody's race these next couple of weeks. And I'm sure Tsunami, we're going to see quite a bit of things, and things that we don't expect.
Yeah, for everybody out there watching, make sure you mark your calendar down. You're not going to want to miss the finale on this season.
And I'd have to agree, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kart Racer is your winner with JJ in second, third Amoeba, fourth Bobbers, and fifth MVP. We'll round out your top five. We had one heck of a race here today at Homestead and round number 8 of the MEA NASCAR Cup Series. And I want to say thank you once again for Amos Tsunami joining us in the broadcast team as we were able to call this race together. And I felt like we flowed a little bit better this week, Tsunami.
Yeah, I definitely still have my rookie stripes on for the broadcast booth. This is not my forte, but it's been a pleasure working with you up here. It's a lot of fun watching these races, and thank you again for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you nonetheless, and I'm also Mayhem, and thank you for watching round number 8 of the MEA NASCAR Cup Series here at Homestead, where Kart Racer was the first driver to break the barrier to get his second win on the season. With two races left to go in the season, a lot still to be answered, but I can definitely say the championship 4 is still in the fight between Bobberts leading the way, Sean, JJ, and Amoeba. We'll have to see what happens because I feel like Homestead could be a big answer to what we're going to see in the finale. So once again, thank you for watching round number 8, and we'll see you next week, same place, same time, only on MEA. Good night.